this title of this Octopunk Weekly Update is true. This is a lot of information about our New York City event for Detroit Evolution's premiere, and also some information about the online premiere as well. This is going to monopolize pretty much all of Opwu today because there's lots to talk about. I want to make sure to cover everything I can. And if you are somebody who has planned on attending the New York City event and you are in the chat, feel free to send questions into the chat. I will take a look at them and try to answer them as best as I can. I tried to be comprehensive in my statement as far as covering everything that I could think of, but, I can always forget things, me. So I just wanted to give you guys that heads up and, before I get started, that questions are open. Let me know if you have anything that I haven't addressed yet. So basically, the world is very different now than it was last Tuesday when I last talked about this. I've been joking kind of all along that I was still planning on having this event, unless New York went into some kind of escape from New York lockdown situation. And in reality, that's not that far from the truth now. The past 5 days have seen immense changes. I mean, it feels like we've lived in a 3-week news cycle in just 5 days. I love the jokes about how March 10th alone was a verse and we didn't start the fire just from morning to midnight. Every 5 minutes, some other state governor or some, even the president has something new that they're trying out to stop the spread of the coronavirus in the United States. So that where that leaves us is pretty obviously our event in New York City is not going to happen on April 10th as we planned it. I started to realize about last Thursday that this was going to become something that I probably shouldn't do still. And for me at the time, it was a combination of the ethical choice of, not wanting to expose our fans and friends to a potential virus. But also it became very stressful as an event manager because I started having thoughts of, there's so much uncertainty, there's so much entropy going on in the world right now. New York could issue a curfew as soon as we get there and we can't have our event. Our venues could close as soon as we get there and we can't have our event. And it was very scary to think about a possibility of all of you guys coming into the city and paying all that money in your hotels and plane tickets and stuff. And then we get there, we can't have the event. That was terrifying. Well, as it turns out, the New York governorship and Mayor Bill de Blasio acted very quickly, and I didn't have to wait around for those possibilities because the choice has pretty much been made for me. As of this morning in New York City, all bars, restaurants, and movie theaters are closed indefinitely. They do not know when they will open again, and in addition to that, gatherings of 50 people or more are also now banned in New York City indefinitely. So between those two things, it is literally illegal to have our event now as planned on April 10th. And while we don't know that, while we don't know whether or not April 10th, it'll all be cleared up and all these things will be open again. It's in less than 25 days. That's just a little over 3 weeks. It's cutting it pretty close, and I don't like to gamble with that. And I can tell you that coronavirus certainly isn't going to magically go away in 3 weeks either, I'm sure. So yeah, I think it was best to not stick with that. And as I said, I mean, I really cannot. I do not believe that my venues would even allow me to continue having those reservations on lock, even if I wanted to. So that is where we are at right now. However, I will say this. When it came to the decision of canceling versus postponing, canceling meaning that I would cancel it outright, we would wipe our hands of it and not bother with it anymore, and postponement, which means that we would still have the same event later, I definitely sided with the concept of postponement. Now, it's going to be a little weird because the idea of the event is that it was a premiere. It was going to be the first time anybody was going to see Detroit Evolution. It was supposed to be a premiere first in the world screening. we still plan on having our online premiere on April 11th. We're not postponing the online premiere, assuming I don't get deathly ill and can't finish the movie, knock on wood. But as I'm self-isolating and not going anywhere and trying to keep myself healthy, I definitely still plan on releasing the movie on April 11th, which means that we can no longer, by, nature, be able to give you a first look at a movie that you will surely have already seen before after April 11th. So that was a little weird when I thought about postponement. But for me, it was important. The most important concern to me in all of this about cancellation or postponement was the fact that all of you, or many of you, have invested a lot of money into travel expenses in order to come to the event. And while there are a lot of places, Airbnb, Amtrak, Marriott being a few of them, who have been very hospitable and offered full refunds to anybody who has reservations with their companies, and you can get all of your money back, there are also some companies, namely the airlines, who are not really offering cash refunds. They will kind of only let you either reschedule or take a credit to your account, which you can use for a flight later in the year, anywhere of your choice. Now, I know for some of you, that's still not that bad. I mean, for me, like, I fly 4 or 5 times a year. I go to festivals all the time. So even if the event got canceled outright, I would be able to, use that plane ticket for something else, that credit for something else. But for many of you, you might not fly much. I mean, this might have been kind of the one time that, you planned on traveling this year, and you want to be able to get your money's worth and be able to use that investment for something. So we figured that rescheduling and actually still having an event just later would be the best way to reduce the amount of harm that this cancellation and postponement and this whole situation has done. So yeah, I unfortunately have to postpone, but we are still going to have an event. And the nature of that event will be that we will still be screening Detroit Evolution. This time you will all have seen it surely by then, so we'll encourage a rowdy screening. With the world premiere screening, I'm sure everybody was going to be quiet and serious and watching the movie for the first time and very invested. This time, if you want to shout memes that have evolved over the 3 months since the movie came out or something, we will encourage that. If you want to make it like a Cats or Rocky Horror screening, it can be a lot of fun. So that's totally fine. And in order to give you guys something that is still new at the event, we will be premiering at least one new short film from Octopunk at the event in addition to Detroit Evolution. It'll either be 7 Deadly Sins or On the Road Again, or possibly both, as well as maybe even screening some new trailers and stuff. So we're going to try to make it a whole big old fan event with multiple screenings. We're still going to keep the after party. It'll still be about the same capacity. You'll still get to meet other fans, and cast members and crew members will be in attendance as well for that one too. So pretty much the only thing that will have changed is that we'll actually be showing more movies, and it'll be on a different date. So that is what we have planned. Now, I want to also go through well, first, I'll tell you the new date, but I also want to go through some FAQ stuff as far as what's going to happen with your tickets and refunds and all that sort of stuff. Basically, I have an FAQ of 4 or 5 questions, and then I'll open the floor up if you have any questions that I haven't already addressed. Now, obviously, I said it was postponed. The new date is going to be August 7th. That is still a Friday. So hopefully by the end of the summer, this will all be blown over and this date is safe and will not be compromised. If that date is not safe within the range, we have a lot more problems with the country than a screening of some of my movies. So we're going to hold on to that for now. My venues have both confirmed this new date, so this is on lock, and this will be a new event that is similar. As I said at the top, Octopunk Fan Media Event NYC. That is the new name of it, since we can't call it premiere screening. But we'll have a screening of Detroit Evolution, as well as screening of at least 1 or 2 new shorts from Octopunk. Now, on to the FAQ stuff. So the first thing is, I've already sort of talked about, whether it's going to be a screening of Detroit Evolution. Yes, it will be. But we are keeping our online premiere on April 11th. So if you weren't planning on coming to the event at all, nothing has changed for you. You will still get to see the movie on YouTube on April 11th. Okay. And number 2, will my tickets to the event be refunded? Yes, of course. I will be able to give back your money for the tickets that you spent on the event. The only exception to this is that I can't refund the small Eventbrite fee that was attached to it. It was either between $1 and $5, depending upon what amount of money you or what ticket you bought. But other than that, I will happily refund your money. I know that you need it right now. And the other thing is, if you want to come to the new event and you're pretty confident that you'll come, you also have the ability to roll over your ticket. Just let me know if you want to roll over and I will do that. But if you don't specifically tell me that you want to roll over, I will just refund it. That's going to be my automatic thing to do within the next week, is just refund the tickets of everybody who doesn't let me know specifically that they want to roll over. How will tickets go on sale again later? So in that case, I will basically give refunds to everybody with the exception to the people who want to hold on to their ticket for the next event. And then I will reopen the remaining ticket sales of the seats that we have left in June. For those of you who maybe want to come to the new event, but maybe that you really need the money now, or you're not sure if you can make it in August, I will still offer you, your refund, and you can take your refund, but be assured that the current ticket holders will be given access to the sales link 24 hours before the public. So if you bought a ticket and you get a refund, you will still be offered new ticket sales earlier than everybody else. So you'll be able to get the jump on it and get your seat back for the same price as before. So basically, I'm just giving you your money back for a while, and then you can use it on the ticket later if you want to come or decide you want to come later. If you are the public and you're not currently a ticket holder, but maybe you couldn't attend the April event, but this August one appeals to you, I will certainly have seats available to the public, and those will go on sale after remaining ticket holders purchase their seats. Okay. Now, will the after party be the same at the new event? Yes, it will be a similar experience. VIP perks will remain the same. Photo opportunities for all after party guests will remain the same. It will take place at the RPM Underground Karaoke Bar, and it will have an age restriction of 18 and up. So that is pretty much identical than it was before. Excuse me. The screening is what's going to be slightly different. The screening will be a screening of Detroit Evolution, but it'll also be a screening of a couple of their short films. So the event's actually going to be a little bit longer. The screening section is probably going to be 4 hours instead of 2 hours, because we'll have to rent the Dolby an extra 2 hours to show shorts and trailers and stuff before we show Detroit Evolution. So I guess the new event it'll be at the same time of day, but it'll start a little bit earlier, probably about 1 p.m. instead of 3 p.m. There will not be an increase in ticket prices, even though this new event is a little bit longer. The ticket prices and the tiers will all remain the same, so we're definitely not going to price gouge or anything crazy like that. And then this is the big one. What do I do about all of my travel plans? It really depends on what your specific arrangements are. As I said, Airbnb is offering full refunds. I did that myself. It was super simple. You just go into the app and hit cancel, and then it walks you right through it and gives you a full refund automatically. I've heard Amtrak is offering full refunds. Marriott is being generous. They're offering full refunds on any of their hotels. Hilton had kind of a goofy policy a couple days ago where they were only offering refunds on like Chinese and Italian properties, but it seems like they may have extended that to worldwide properties now as well as Marriott. So check on Hilton if you have a Hilton reservation. And remember that Marriott and Hilton are not just Marriotts and Hiltons. In the case of Hilton, I think it also includes Gosh, what are some Hilton properties? Hampton Inn is a Hilton property. So that this is the parent companies. So you might have a hotel that's under that parent company. And in the case of Marriott, they actually are partnered with the Sheraton and Westin Starwood hotels now as well. They're a joint venture. So if you have a Sheraton or a Westin or another Starwood hotel, you might also be able to get a refund through that Marriott policy. Greyhound, I know, is offering fee-free rescheduling of their trains, or you can get a credit to use later on Greyhound. Most airlines are this way as well, where you can get a credit or you can get a rescheduling to the 7th of August if you want. Here's the thing, though. These things are changing every day. These cancellation policies, they are literally loosening up every day. If I was in the situation of, maybe wanting my actual money back, I would wait and see if my flight was going to get canceled, because a lot of these flights are going to be canceled. Delta and specifically is going to be reducing their travels by 60% or by 40%. I don't know if it's to 40% capacity or by 40% capacity, but almost half of Delta flights are going to be canceled. So in this case, you might luck up and your flight gets canceled, and then they're obligated to give you all your money back. Additionally, most of these flights and all of these places are advising you to wait until about 72 hours before your scheduled trip in order to call them, because they are overwhelmed right now. It's going to be really difficult to get through. You're going to have to wait on the phone for hours and hours. Hopefully this will settle down soon. You still have 3.5 weeks to cancel your plans and stuff. So just look into the policies of of the people that you're staying with, of your airlines and all that, just to see where things stand, and check back often, because literally, these things are changing every day or two. A lot of these hotels and a lot of these airlines are posting new policies on cancellation literally every day or every other day. I saw Alaska Airlines just changed theirs like 3 days ago because it was a little too strict. And then Marriott as well, and Hilton. So yeah. And I would say, yes, you can call before 72 hours before. They're just sort of saying that to flatten their own curve in a way. But yeah, you do have 3.5 weeks, so just hang in there, and hopefully before 72 hours, your flight may end up being canceled, or maybe even before then. Because if things continue to escalate, it's very possible that they simply will not fly their planes anymore, and you will be given your money back, obligatorily. So that is where we're at right now. I hope the best for all of you who can't make it, and for those of you who do want to join us in August, welcome. Thank you for sticking with us, or thank you for joining us if you couldn't in April but want to come in August. We are, really sad about this. I know I seem kind of blasé. It's because I've processed it already. Last week, around Wednesday, Thursday, when it started to dawn on me that this wasn't going to happen, I was really upset. I was actually really morose for a couple of days, and it took me a long time to process that emotion, and the sense of loss, because this is something I was really proud of. This is something that I was really looking forward to. We were really proud of the fact that we were able to sell out an event for one of our movies, in New York City. So, and now it can't happen in the same way anyway. So it's, I hope for the best for August. I hope the best for, the world right now. I think it would be selfish to say that this event matters in the grand scheme of, people's lives and everything. But it did definitely matter to me, and I know that it matters to a lot of you, and it's sad, but like I said, we will still have that April 11th premiere, so you don't actually have to wait to see Detroit Evolution, the film, so that's good news. And we still will have this August 7th event, so I hope that it'll be a really fun thing at the end of the summer, once all this is blown over, hopefully, that we can all use to celebrate getting through this year, and also, continuing to thrive in the face of difficulty and refusing to back down, I suppose, against circumstance, while also, obviously being responsible about social distancing and being legal and following laws at this time. Yes, this hoodie is awesome, Gits. All right, so I'm going to check out the chat now. I've kind of been like, I get really distracted and it's difficult for me to read and talk at the same time. But yeah, so let me see if we have any questions. Let me see. Yeah, unfortunately, price ranges might be different at this new date. I've seen that right now flights are actually very cheap to New York. They're a lot cheaper than what I paid for them. So what I'm hoping is that I can get a credit from JetBlue instead of a reschedule, and then I'll actually be able to save like $200 on the new flight tickets, and then that $200 will just stay in my JetBlue account and maybe can be used for like another trip to somewhere else, like for a film festival or something. So yeah, I'm hoping that I can, just use like the credit and actually like save some money on rebooking the new flights, because they're much cheaper than the $280 ticket flights that I purchased like 3 days before the plague struck. In the case of my Airbnb, I was able to get it fully refunded. So I'm not sure where I'll be staying again. Ninja, how am I doing? I'm okay now. Like I said, I processed this last week and was able to kind of like address my own feelings about it, and then went into the, crisis manager mode. Being a filmmaker is a lot of crisis management, I'm finding. I've had to do this like twice now in a year. It sucks. Do I have insurance for Corona? No, I don't have insurance. I have travel insurance for my flights, but I don't know if that covers it. I do not have... Oh, do I have health insurance? Yeah, I have health insurance. I don't know quite what you mean. Luckily, I did not need any event insurance or anything. I'm not out any money on the venues. They have very loose cancellation policies or rescheduling policies. They didn't take any deposits. So the venues have not cost me anything. The price change is the same. I am not out anything except for maybe my flights. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, finding solutions is, what you have to do. And for me, what happened at the end of last week was, at first I was kind of like feeling it out and hopeful that this problem was not going to escalate. But the thing is like, you gotta live in reality, and you can't work the problem if you won't accept it. And the truth is that we have a very big global problem on our hands right now, and we all have to work together to be able to solve it. And we can't do that by thinking that we're the exception to the rule, or that the rules don't apply to us, or burying our head in the sand and thinking this is a hoax. This is reality, and we have to react to it. So that's where I'm at. When asking to roll over tickets, is it an email? Basically, just DM me and let me know what your reservation is saved under, and I will just put you aside. I will basically just save a ticket for the new event in your name. I think I'm going to keep the same Eventbrite page for the new event, so everybody who has tickets already will, you're not going to have to like rebook or anything. It'll just be in my system already. And yes, definitely we will still have the YouTube premiere, Ninja. We will have a Discord channel for a live chat during the premiere. So if you prefer to hang out on Discord with people that you actually know, and not in the YouTube chat with a bunch of screaming people that you don't know and can't interpret, yeah, we will be having a channel on Discord. Yeah, and even that chat is going to be feral indeed. But yeah, I'm doing okay. Like I said, I processed this, and now it's like I think also, with the way that the world is going, I don't think that this news is a surprise to anybody. I think it would have been a surprise to everybody a week ago, but right now with just literally everything being canceled and it becoming more and more illegal, to have events over like 50 people or 10 people. Even Trump said don't meet in groups of more than 10, so that's when it's bad. Yeah, and it looks like 11 a.m. Eastern is probably going to be the premiere on April 11th for Detroit Evolution. So It'll be in the morning for our East Coasters. It'll be really in the morning for our Pacific Coasters. And then Europeans and Asians will be later in the afternoon and into the evening on Saturday. And yeah, out of school until the 27th. I mean, Broadway, my first inclination was that Broadway closed through April 13th. And that was when I was like, ooh, this is getting bad. That was the first sign for me that New York was getting bad. And then it just, they banned 500 people events, and then they brought it down to 50, and then they closed the restaurants. And it's just like all within a matter of 5 days. And yeah. 11 EDT. That is correct, Ariel. Will I do a Twitch stream with the actors on the Friday before or after the premiere? I will do a Twitch stream with the actors the Saturday after the premiere, which would be April 18th, I believe. I will say that Chris Trindade reached out to me and is interested in coming to Charleston to hang out with us for the weekend that it premieres, to watch it on YouTube and stuff. I don't know if that's going to happen. We don't know if travel between the states or like New York airport or anything is going to still be open then. We don't know what the situation is going to be, but that might happen. In that case, maybe we will do like a cast and crew stream or something, around the time of the premiere, but we'll just have to see. I know that Maximilian's planning on coming to my house that weekend because he just has to drive, assuming that he can come from, between the Carolinas. But, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It's one of those things where, if it happens, great. But if it can't, we weren't planning on doing it anyway. It's just a nice thing that can happen if it does. Let me know if you have any more questions about the event. I will be posting all of this information on Twitter and on Instagram and in Discord. I will also be posting it on, like, cross-posting this on YouTube and putting this in the description. So if you missed anything, don't worry, it'll be in text. Alan asks, how do I switch the tickets to August 7th? Just DM me or email the email octopunkmedia@gmail.com and just tell me the names that you bought the tickets under, and I will just hold it for you. And okay, so you guys can throw questions in the chat about this if you have them, and I'll keep an eye, but I'll move on to some other, stuff that's on Oppo this week. We don't have much, but I just think that there are a few things that I want to talk about, including our daily picture of Detroit Evolution. That's something to look forward to. And I would say DM me on Discord or Twitter, either. I don't care. I look at both. All right, so first up, in good Detroit Evolution news, this is our picture of the day, a screen cap from the film of Ada and Gavin, which I don't believe we've seen them together in a frame yet, so this is kind of interesting. And as usual, this will be posted on Twitter and everything else. I think they both look really dope here. Just remember that it is less than 25 days till the online premiere of Detroit Evolution. We are in Detroit Evolution Advent right now. So you've been getting a pic a day on Instagram and Twitter and stuff, both behind the scenes and screen caps. And we will continue to do so. And this is today's. Oh, everybody's saying he jelly. Well, maybe he is, And the divide, thank you, Neb. Brett Mullen did that a lot. You'll keep an eye on that, guys, when you watch Evolution in a few weeks. There's a lot of dividers between characters. It's kind of a motif that we ended up doing a lot in the film. And okay, so on Patreon this week, we've got more exclusive screen caps today and Thursday, and on Friday we've got an Octopunk Vault video. I do want to mention something about Patreon in this time. So, we're in the middle of the month, which means that everybody's already paid for March and everything. So obviously we're still going to give content, and I have no intention of stopping content into April or beyond. However, I, again, recognize that this is a time of great financial crisis, with people being furloughed, people, forced to find childcare because their kids are home from school now. There's a lot of unexpected expenses happening, and a lot of unexpected losses of income that's happening in the world and for you guys right now. I just want to give a blanket statement of, even though I'm going to keep Patreon running, even though I'm going to, keep asking for patrons, even though Patreon is my primary source of income, and it is how I pay my bills, in addition to Austin having a job, thankfully. I totally do understand, and I hold it against nobody for pulling back on their Patreon donations right now, in order to save money during this time. Like, there's nothing more understandable than that. And I'm definitely not going to be a person who tries to exploit people in this time or ask for their money over rent or mortgage or food. I'm definitely not going to be a person who thinks that only real fans are the ones who, like, you know, donate or whatever. Like, take care of yourself first. I'm obviously not going to, like, keep tabs on everybody and, like, say that some people, you know, like, refund money or anything, you know, just automatically or whatever. But I just encourage you guys to be responsible, take care of yourself. I will be okay. Like, I have health insurance, you know, Austin still has the salary. Like, we're not going to be homeless. It might be tough for a while. We might have to rack up some credit card debt or something, but, like, we're going to be okay. So if you are facing, you know, hunger, homelessness, you know, losing your car, like, anything like that because of the situation, like, seriously, like, take care of yourself first. Like, there is no shame in that. Like, please take care of yourself in this time. And yeah, stay safe. Like, just generally wash your hands, stay safe, help each other. And on top of that, like, you know, we are a community. If you see somebody in the community struggling, if you see somebody with a GoFundMe, if you see somebody, you know, doing commissions or something in order to keep themselves afloat, reach out to them and take them up on it. You know, it's be there for each other, in addition to putting on that life mask for yourself first. Yeah, wash your hands, cowards. Yes. So as far as free content goes that you do not need to be a patron for, we have on YouTube coming up on Friday, last week's Patreon video, which is the part 2 of our location scouting video, where I go into a lot of the, and of course, you know, my video is always free, so it's just lovely, where we go into all the other locations that we found for the film, so that's a fun vlog. And if you haven't already seen my speed edit video from Friday, that was posted. I've also been cross-posting episodes of the Nonary game, Zero Escape, that we've been playing on Twitch, so that'll roll out today on YouTube too. So water, we have water. It's not a hurricane, Kim. Somebody, I think it was asked what Octopunk Bolt is. Octopunk Bolt is stuff from my childhood. It is stuff from my old times making films when I was like 15 or 16. In this case, Octopunk Bolt on Friday is going to be an episode of Behind the Cameras, which is my broadcast journalism's spoof of The Office, which is called Stress Relief, is the name of the episode. And it's actually pretty funny. It holds up pretty decently. It's an episode about all of the different characters in the broadcast journalism class having different ways of relieving stress, and mostly just picking on this one kid who has a very weird way of doing it. So, yeah, that'll be on Friday. Zodiac is already on YouTube if you look for that. If you want to really see some Octopunk Vault cringe, yeah, that can be found if you look hard enough. Yes. As always, we ended the broadcast with a P.O. Box 62762, North Charleston, South Carolina, 29419. I am going to the post office today in order to check the P.O. Box and also to probably get stamps. I should probably get stamps for the upcoming postcards that I'll be sending out. I'll be very careful. I use lots of hand sanitizer and not breathe anybody's air. That might be my last post office visit for a while. Hopefully the postal service will still remain open in the next while, but I'll also be shipping anything that was purchased in the past week. So if you've purchased anything in the past week from the Etsy store, that goes out today as well. God, Mom, stop. Oh, yeah, Zodiac was real bad. I acted in it when I was 17. It's just, we don't talk about Zodiac. Oh, it's awful. I'll share it with you guys one day. One day I'll share with you the Read 900 fanfic that I wrote. I'll probably do that as a fundraiser, though. Be like, I'll reveal my old name from DBH fandom and all the works that I did before you knew who I was. Mom, it is not good. Not one bit. Don't even lie. You know, what's funny is that I know for a fact that multiple of you have read the Read 900 fanfic that I wrote before you knew who I was. I think it'll be kind of interesting for you guys to be like, oh, you wrote that? What? All right. Thank you for joining me today. Again, I'm sorry that it was some unfortunate news, especially for our New York fam who is coming to the event. But hopefully, with the new event planned for August 7th, we can all get together at the end of the summer and celebrate surviving this nonsense and surviving this just, crisis of this public health crisis. And as always, stay great, hydrate, have a happy time zone.